Hi, I'm Zach Wilson, and I'd like to discuss diegesis and its relation to the fourth wall, specifically talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Before I get started on that, I'd like to briefly explain what diegesis actually is. Diegetic elements are essentially elements that exist within a film's plane of reality. These include characters, settings, and props. It's easy to view what is diegetic and what is not diegetic, like if you view the screen as a window peering into the film's reality. On that window can appear non-diegetic elements, which include titles, subtitles, and credits. Diegesis gets complicated when characters start breaking the fourth wall. When a character breaks the fourth wall, they essentially interact with the audience. And this poses the question, is the audience now a diegetic element? And before we get to that question, I'd like to say that sometimes movies do explain how this character is able to interact with the audience. For example, in 2016's Deadpool, the main character Deadpool is severely insane. Therefore, he thinks he's talking to an audience when in his reality he's not. However, in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, this is not the case. Ferris Bueller's Day Off came out in 1986 and was written and directed by John Hughes. In the film, Ferris, played by Matthew Broderick, breaks the fourth wall by narrating his day off with his friends. This isn't explicitly told as to how all this happens. So the question is posed again. Is the audience a diegetic element? This mainly depends on the audience's interpretation. And however, I will go over both points of argument and how and why they think that is. Starting with the audience is not a diegetic argument. If the audience is not a diegetic element, who is Ferris talking to? Well, Ferris is shown to be a very charismatic and egotistical character. So it could be explained that he's simply just talking to himself. However, an argument to that is the after credit sequence, when he specifically tells us that the movie's over and to go home. On the other hand, and we have the audience is a diegetic element argument, which simply states that since Ferris interacts with the audience exists in his plane of reality. However, some arguments to that include that he cannot physically interact with us, and the audience can't interact with him at all. So, what do you think? What do you agree that the audience is a diegetic element, or do you not? That's the question I pose to you now.